Hey everybody, this is Mr. Warren here. I'm going to work out some of the problems from your assignment. This is in your textbook 7A on page 48, and I'm going to start with question number 12. Now, question number 12 says, in each case, find the value of x if the given angles are complementary. All right, so you have to know what complementary means. If two angles are complementary, that means their sum is 90 degrees. So if you add these two things together, you get 90 degrees. Okay, so how are we going to approach this? I'm going to do, remember your assignment is to do 12 A, C, E, and G. So when I'm working these out, I'm going to use examples from the B, D, and F. Well, let's go ahead and do 12B. If 24 degrees and 20 plus x degrees are complementary, that means I can write the following expression, that 24 plus 20 plus x is equal to 90. Now, yes, these should all have degree symbols, but we don't really need to be that particular right now. Okay, so this is just going to be an equation. You need to find the value of x that makes this equation true. So that's the solution to this equation. So let's go ahead and we can combine our like terms. When you have a plus sign in front of the parentheses, you can just go ahead and get rid of the parentheses. Go ahead and do that right now. You can just get rid of these parentheses. You don't actually need them. Also, we don't really need our degree symbol. Not terribly important. Okay, so I'll go ahead and combine like terms first. 24 plus 20 is 44 plus x is equal to 90. Something plus 44 is equal to 90. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 44 from both sides of this equation to get the x by itself. And that's going to give me x is equal to 46. Okay, 90 minus 44 is 46. And all of the other problems are very similar. You just set up the equation the way I did, that these two things must add together to make 90. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is question number 13, says find the value of y if the given angles are supplementary. Supplementary has a different definition. Now, if two angles are supplementary, that means they add together to make 180. So I'll go ahead and do 13F to show you how that's done. If these two angles are supplementary, that means that 5y plus 26 degrees plus 4y plus 64 degrees is equal to 180. So again, we just have an equation, well, actually 180 degrees. Again, we have an equation and all we're going to do is combine our like terms and solve for the variable y. If you have a plus sign in front of your parentheses, you can just drop the parentheses. Also, we don't really need the degree symbols. So this is what we're actually trying to find here. All right, let's combine our like terms. I can add y's with y's, so I'll go ahead and do that. 5y plus 4y is 9y. And I can add constants with constants, so that's 26 plus 64 is equal to, what is that, 90? 90. And this is still equal to, drop my equal sign straight down. I didn't do anything to the right side, so this is still equal to 180. Let's go ahead and solve for y now. I want to get the variable y by itself, so I'm going to subtract this 90 off of the left side. If I have to subtract 90 from the left side, I have to subtract 90 from the right side. And what do I end up with? I'm going to clean this up a little bit. That cancels out. 9y is equal to 90. And of course, divide by 9, and you get that y is equal to 10. And that's your solution. Okay, so that's how you're going to do number 13. All of these problems are pretty much the same. You're just adding these two angles together and the sum is 180. Okay, moving on. Question, this is going to be 13D, I believe it is. And what we have here is a straight line. They tell you in the problem that ABC, or rather AC, is a straight line. So that right there is a straight line. And what we're going to do is we have to make the connection that all four of these angles form a straight line when you add them together. So that means that these four angles add up to equal 180 degrees when we add them together. So we're just going to go ahead and add them. Okay, I'm going to do this vertically. So let's see here. I've got 25. I've got 2x plus 10. So notice how I'm stacking the constants right here, and I'll put my variables over here. I've got 2x plus 20, and then I've got x plus 40. I'm just going to add this whole thing together. I add these together, 25 plus 10 plus 20 plus 40. Let's see, that's 70 plus 25. That's going to give me 95. 2x plus x is 5x. So what I have is when I add all four of those angles together, I get 5x plus 95. And this has to be equal to 180. And this is really the equation that I'm wanting to solve here. I guess I'll just take this like that. Here's the equation that I want to solve. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we need to get the variable by itself. So we're going to get rid of this constant on the left side. If I subtract 95 here, got to subtract 95 here. That cancels this out. What am I left with? 5x is equal to 85. And then, of course, we're going to divide by 5 to get the variable by itself. And x is equal to 85 divided by 5 is 17. That's our solution. Okay, so in each one of those problems, you have a picture that shows a bunch of smaller angles adding together to make a straight line. That means that the sum of all of these smaller angles is equal to 180. And then from there, you're going to write the equation and solve the equation. All right, let's go on to the next one. This is going to be, let's see, 12, 13, 14. This is going to be 15. This is a very similar problem. Now, these four angles, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. These four angles are all of the angles that surround a point. And that means that these four angles add together to equal 360. So this time I'm not going to do it vertically. I'm just going to go left to right. I've got 5x plus 2x plus 3x plus 40 is equal to 360. Now I'm not writing the degree symbol because it's just kind of a waste of time here. All right, so let's go ahead and combine our like terms. These are all x's, so I can add them together. 5 plus 2 plus 3 is 10, so that's going to be 10x plus 40 is equal to 360. I'm going to solve for the variable x, so I want to get rid of this 40 by subtracting. 10x is equal to 320, and of course divide by 10, and we get x is equal to 32. Okay, so very similar to the last problem, but we just have to remember that all the angles that surround a point add up to 360. 360 is one full rotation. Okay, so that's it for that problem. This is number 12, 13, 14, 16. Now here you have to use a connection that these are all straight lines. So you have to remember that when straight lines cross, so when I have two lines that are straight and they cross like that, the angles that are opposite the vertex, so this right here is the vertex, that's where they cross. These angles that are opposite the vertex are equal. Okay. Chloe, I'm making a video here. All right. Jeez. So anyway, let's get rid of that. I accidentally put that on the wrong layer. All right, so what does that mean? It means that this angle here is equal to this angle here. Well, that's great. If I know what this angle is, and I do, it's 2x, now I can say that these three angles form a line. So these 1, 2, 3 angles add up to equal 180. We know that when you have when an angles form up and they make a straight line, then that they have to sum up to equal 180. Okay, so that gives us another equation. 2x plus 5x plus 54 is equal to 180. Combine our like terms here. 2x plus 5x is 7x plus 54 is equal to 180. And then we're going to go ahead and subtract 54. Subtract 54. 7x is equal to 126. And then 7 goes into 126, I think 18 times. Let's just go ahead and do some long division real quick. 7 goes in once, 7, 5, 6, yep, 18. All right, so divide both sides by 7, and you get x is equal to 18. All right, so that's how you set up these problems. I know these problems look a little daunting at first, but just remember that's all the same process. You're just making the connection between, well, let's just do a quick little review of all the different types of problems. We're writing equations in every case. In the first problem, number 12, you have to make the connection that these angles add up to equal 90. In problem number 13, we're making the connection that these are supplementary, so they add up to equal 180. Here we've got angles that form a straight line, so that's all 4 of those add up to equal 180. So when you write your equation, that's what you're going to use. Angles around a point sum up to equal 360. And here we're using the same idea, but first we have to make the connection that vertical angles are equal. So this angle here, we fill in first, and then we make the same connection that we did in number 14, which is that these 3 angles make a straight line, so they must sum to 180. All right, if you have any questions, let me know on Classroom or send me an email. Thank you. Bye.